Hi guys, it's BB. Welcome back to my channel, my beautiful monarch butterflies. I hope that all of you are having a lovely day. Alright, so in today's video, this is the last week that we are doing the hashtag vintage sewing pattern challenge, but I know a lot of y'all wanted to join, and so if you do end up doing the last week of October for the theme Halloween, please be sure and use the hashtag so we are able to find your video. And thank you ladies to all of those who have joined in on the collaboration. And so hashtag vintage sewing pattern challenge is hosted by me and my beautiful friend Kara over at Paper Confessions. It is an open collaboration, so anybody is more than welcome to join. And so here I am working on my first project, which I am going to be making a journal cover out of, I guess, a mixed berry fruit green cereal bar snacks. I do take some painter's tape and I use that for the spine just to kind of give the flaps a little bit more flexibility, and then I just trim the excess off. I know it's tape and it should be sticky, but I like to go in with my Fabric Fix glue because I feel like it just holds that much better. I don't want it falling apart on me. And then here I ended up going through my fabric stash and I found this cute fabric, and that's what I'm going to cover up this journal with. And typically I run my finger over the glue so that it doesn't seep through the fabric. It's not necessary, but I typically do it because the seepage just kind of bothered me. And so here I'm just going to cover up the whole journal with it, and then you'll later see me cutting off some of the corners. You don't want to cut in too far into the corner of the fabric because then you're not going to be able to cover up them corners, or they will look super funky. And again, I'm just smoothing it out with my finger. And I like Fabric Fix because it doesn't warp, so if y'all are new to my channel and y'all see this kind of glue that I'm using and you're curious, that's what that is. And then here I'm just cutting off the corners. If you go in too far, there's no going back, so just be sure you give yourself some space. And then here I'm just gonna very quickly, I think this has got to be the fastest I've ever, like, I guess, covered up a journal, because I typically do a little bit of glue and then I fold, more glue and then I fold, but here I just went for it and it seemed to do all right. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that, and this is just the cover. I'm not putting in the signatures yet. I am not applying the interior of it, nothing. And then here I did some stitching so I ensure that that fabric doesn't go anywhere. And now we're working on our cover. I ended up finding this cute scrapbooking paper with this blue, and it kind of looked like wallpaper. And I'm also going to distress it using some black ink. And I want the edges to look a little bit rough, so I am going to use my ruler. You of course don't have to do that, but I thought it looked nice. I like that rough edge. So here now I'm going to distress it with some black ink. And I also want to mention that I am on my friend Jovi's design team, so I am going to go in with her beautiful printables. I will put the name of this particular kit right here on the screen so you guys can check it out for yourselves, as well as I'll link it down below. And you get a lot within her kits. I mean, you get a whole lot of variety, and that's what I really enjoy about working with Jovi's kits. And so here I am taking not necessarily like the vintage pattern itself, but like the sheets that come with it, like the instructions, I guess. And I had never worked with it before, but I love the color of it. And so here I'm just distressing the edges, and I will be placing those on the back of the bats and the moon. And I quite like that. I mean, this is going to be a simple journal cover, and I think later on, if I get around to it, I will end up maybe putting a phrase at the top. Maybe that's just something like spooky or haunted, something along those lines, like a phrase. Here I found some black lace, which I thought would look super gorgeous on the cover, and I went ahead and I attached it, and I said, yep, that's it. I really like it. And then here I'm just gonna glue it down, and I wanted to do some stitching around it, so here you'll see me, well, I guess you won't see me stitch it. I thought I had recorded it, but anyways, Here I wanted to put a phrase, but then I didn't end up liking it, but now looking back at it while I'm editing this, it didn't look so bad. But you know, while you're working on stuff, yeah, I don't know what else to say, but it didn't look good to me then, but now it does, but there's no going back now. So here I'm just gonna go ahead and adhere it to the cover. And then after this, I'm gonna start on my project number 2. Or not. Now I'm just gonna show you what it looked like at the end of it. Alright, now we're moving on to number 2. So here we are gonna be making a music envelope. And I cut it down to size. I took off all the rough edges. And here I'm just folding it to the size that I would like it to be. And then here is when I go in with the sewing pattern. And I kind of wanted some of the words on there. And I go ahead and decoupage it onto the sheet of music, which I quite like the way it turned out. So if you want to add a little bit of a vintage look to your papers, this would be a great way to do it. And then I kind of use my scissors to flatten it out, make sure that all the glue is spread nicely. And I'm just gonna go ahead and finish it off here. I also do stitching on this, but I don't think I recorded that for you guys. I was very quickly running out of storage, so whatever I could save for this video, I tried to. So here I'm just cutting off the excess. And then you can see that I had a little bare corner there, so I wanted to fill that little space out. So I just use a little corner of it. Here I'm just folding it back to the way I wanted it. And after this, I believe I put a notch in it, and then I distress it as well. But you'll see that later on in the video with the notch punch. Oh, I guess I'm going in with some more of Jovi's printables. I spotted this one with the black butterfly and I thought it was cute. And I love this ruler. My friend Dale gave it to me from Not Too Shabby Chic, and I love the distressed look that it gives the paper. And so here I'm just auditioning where I want these little pieces, and I quite like the way that looks, so I am going to commit to it and gluing it on there. And then I had this little scrap from the cover that I had used, and I just like that little border, so I wanted to keep that and incorporate it into the envelope as well. I don't know about you guys, but fall is my absolute favorite season. I'm so looking forward to getting to be around the fall. I'm excited to see all the leaves falling off of the trees, a little bit of like that gloomy weather. I love it. And then here, now I'm gonna go ahead and glue this beautiful flower from Jovi's kit onto the envelope. And I drop it on the envelope, so I have to take off the glue. And then here I put on the word spooky. And then I attached this cute little chindi rug remnant to the front of it. And I quite like the way that it looked. And so here I'm just showing off what it ended up looking like in the end. Super spacious, by the way. Alright, next up, this is our third project. I am recycling a junk mail envelope. And then here, I was stupid and I didn't put the cover on my glue, and it kind of hardened it, and I'm struggling to smear it out, so I'm just using my finger because I'm trying not to be wasteful. But anyways, put your lid back on, don't do what I did. And then here I'm just gonna take some more of my vintage sewing pattern, and I like the stitching that you can see there at the top of the envelope, or bottom, I don't know what you would call it, but y'all know what I'm talking about. It looks cute. And then I take some of the sheets again, and I like the wording on there and the blue, the little blue that kind of peeks through there. So I decided to go with that, and I'm giving it that torn edge. I will go into it later and like clean it up. And then we need just a little bit for the top of the envelope. I had to cut it to size, so there wasn't very much, space up there, but it still works. So here I'm just removing the excess. By the way, I'm sorry I'm uploading this so very late. I ran into some storage issues. And so here, this is going to create a second pocket where I fold it. So the top is going to have the clear little window. The second portion of it is going to be so you can fit some more little ephemera there at the bottom. And then here, I'm just gonna trim around that little bottom pocket, and again, removing all the excess. And then here I am going to create a tag. I very much liked that paper. It came from, like, I think a Martha Stewart magazine, and I wanted to be framing around this cat, also from Jovi's gorgeous digital kit. And I'm just cutting it down to size so that it can fit in that junk mail envelope, so that it can peek through the window. So like the cat peeking through the window, I thought that was kind of cool. And of course, you gotta add some distressing because that just makes it that much cuter. And I'm gonna go ahead and glue it down, and then after this I'm gonna run it through the sewing machine so that I can stitch it before I glue it down, because I don't want the stitches to show in the back of the tag, and I'd rather just I probably am making no sense. I just didn't want the stitching to show up on the back of the tag, so here I'm just gonna use my favorite stitch and then gluing it on. Even the back of that paper looked really, really cool. I probably should have auditioned that one too. It looked pretty nice. So here, it's glued down. I'm gonna cut off some of the corners up top, make a cute little tag. And then I'm gonna attach again some of that black lace to the bottom of this pocket. And then I took some remnants of paper and then I just stitched through the center of it. I'm gonna go ahead and glue that down. I love the way that that looked. And boom, we have another pocket there. And so here, I'm just gonna go in with a little apothecary bottle that I got out of one of my son's school books. And here, I wanted to add that beautiful black butterfly that I was showing y'all earlier, but I never got around to using it, but now I am. And you can see that after I fussy cut it, I place it kind of on top of the bottle, but later on I forget where I had placed it and it doesn't at all go in that spot where, like right there, it looks good, but I don't remember that in the video and you'll probably see that later. I like that bottle. I think it's just so cute. And I'm going to distress the butterfly just a little bit and we're going to glue that down. And I also wanted to do some stitching as well in the pocket too. You gotta add stitching. I just love the way that it looks. You don't have to, but I of course like to. So I decided that this flower would look adorable next to that kitty cat. And here's me showing it off with some blue threads in the front and then some black threads in the back. Oh, and then here I embossed the sheet, the vintage sewing pattern. And I love the way that it came out, so I was like, ooh, I'm just excited to decoupage this. And here's a different pattern of embossing folder that I had used on this one. It still looked cute, but I decided to go in with that one. And I glued it on backwards. So it didn't really show through, but who knows, maybe it wouldn't have showed up anyways. But you could try it for yourselves if you so choose. And later on, I try to use like the dauber to run a little bit of black ink over it, but then I backed out of it because I'm chicken and I didn't want to mess up what already looked pretty. So here I'm distressing the pocket before I add my little tag to it. I'm feeling so proud of myself. And then here I distress the tag. And now we're gonna add a eyelet and then some fabric to go with it. I love this yellow. I think it's just so pretty and it just pops. You of course can go with a different color, but I love yellow. I think yellow is such a pretty bright color. And it's super fitting for Halloween. Voila! Look how cute that is. And then later on I show you guys what it looks like in that bottom pocket where the lace is at. What do you guys think? Alright, moving on to the next project. I lost the footage to this one because of, yes, you guessed right, internal storage issues. But I try to show y'all as best as I can here. I trimmed it to size and then I just ended up picking out some papers which y'all won't end up seeing here, but it still turned out super cute, some of which being the instructions for the vintage sewing pattern that y'all see here. And then y'all will get a glimpse of what that ended up looking like. Isn't that adorable? I added some of the embossed vintage sewing pattern, some of Jovi's printables, some wallpaper there that is also embossed, some more printables, those instructions, some ghosties. How cute is that? I love it. Thanks to you guys for having joined me for hashtag Vintage Sewing Pattern Challenge, which is hosted by me and my friend Cara Mia over at Paper Confessions. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will catch you all on the next one. Bye!